Everyone, how you doing? It's Tom Numbers. So we are only 60 days away from the big one, from November 5th, and today's been wet. Yesterday was wet, but there's been a break in the clouds, and it's almost like the parting of the Red Sea, but in the clouds. Can you see it? It's very beautiful this way as well. Probably the camera's not going to do it justice, but nevertheless, there it is, and I'm trying to show you the best I can. But 60 days, yeah. So late last night I was doing a show, and I was saying, I think it was 110 days I started doing the countdown, and then it was late and it was a bit brain foggy. I think I said, oh, well, there's 40 days we've done. We've actually done 50 days, because 110 is 50 plus 60, so we've done 50 days. Hey Mary. And guess who else announced that it was 60 days today? Yep, President Trump. So his team have been doing a countdown. I've been doing the daily countdown here, but they've been chiming in at particular times. So the last one I noted that they did was 89 days. 89 is Palladium. We're watching a play, a movie. 89 is Virus. 89 is a Trump. Remember, both sides know the numbers. Hey Melissa, hey Karen, hey Nancy. And yeah, but he's announced today a video, and it just says 60 days. Days is 49, which is global, which is yes, which is clone. I mentioned Clone Wars yesterday. Crash is 49 as well. XLM's 49, if I remember rightly, yeah. But just 60, the number 60 plus 49 days, or 49 for days, comes to 109, which comes to 17, comes to Psych.Club, comes to Witness, comes to Diana Spencer. And if you do the difference between 89 and 60, the difference is 29, and 29 comes to Diana. So there you go. And I've got my gold medallion. I've got my gold shungite and orgonite here. People are loving this right now, so the links are below. It's always worth checking, because the company that I do this with, they give offers. They've always got offers on their products, but they do rotating offers, so you'll get better offers depending on when they do those promotions. So check out, go to the checkout, check out your get your best prices today. But they introduce you to new products. But I love the pendants because they're portable and you can wear them anywhere. So, and as I always say, Orgonite plus shungite is 206, which comes to quantum physics. 206, drop the 0, comes to 26, comes to God, comes to card, comes to game. And we are playing a game. We're in a game. A brilliant virtual reality game, and it's about to upgrade. The motherboard, the mother system, the mainframe is about to upgrade. Zion mainframe in the Matrix, you see. Wow, I'm going to show you the clouds behind me. Can you see them? Just zoom in on some of them. Some of them are quite potent, like this one there. That's different. Anyway, so I was thinking of a few things today, and so behind me are the needles, and needles are the name of those rock formations behind me on the Isle of Wight. Isle of Wight is 133 simulation, the DeLorean the time machine, sorry, I should say 133. Terminator 133. President Trump's made references to Terminator a few times. He even had Robert Patrick, which is 78, Kennedy, talking of two Kennedys. he played the baddie in the film, but he didn't really have a great, well, not great, no disrespect to Robert, but he was more of a bit part player in terms of the massive movies. But he was there with President Trump on the front of the White House lawn. White House is 133 Terminator simulation, and President Trump introduced him. So I expect he's one of the good ones, because he didn't really get to progress probably as far as he could have done. But they make him be the baddie and Schwarzenegger's the goodie, although he was the baddie but then swapped to be the goodie in part 2. So Needles is in Back to the Future, and I didn't know this, but the guy, my brother told me this, he's the guy in Red Hot Chili Peppers, and he's called Flea, and Needles is 64, and then Flea is 24, and we're in the year 2024. 64 is Tenet, which is also Jubilee, Israel, Zion, 8 times 8. Will You Still Love Me When I'm 64, did that a few days ago. But yeah, Needles, so the guy's character in Back to the Future, the one that tries to tempt Marty into doing foolish things. And his other character in reality, he's a musician, and he's called Flea in Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's probably, is he in, I don't know if he's in Point Break, but he's in Back to the Future anyway, parts 2 and 3. So if you do Flea plus Needles, it comes to 88 Trump. Comes to Greg Braden as well. I need to get on and see if I can do a show with Greg. But Greg Braden spoke about God Eternal Within the Body, 263. Body is 46, so God Eternal Within the Dove, 263. But if you do Greg Braden plus God Eternal Within the Body, it comes to 351, which comes to God Communicates Through Numbers. And if you add up all the letters of the alphabet, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, then it comes to 351. So, yeah. But Needles. So look at this one. Needles. Okay. And I know we're near the end of the show because this is in my reality now. Needles on the Isle of Wight, and the Isle of Wight is 166, which is Kennedy plus Trump. That's happened, and we'll see more of that as we go into the game. And it's also Scooby-Doo ending, with the mask being revealed, being removed, and people being revealed. And that's at the end of Wayne's World. Wayne's World, Trump World, Wayne Tower, Trump Tower, Batman. You got all of that stuff. Sewing needles, yes. So, and then the obvious one, and I won't really say it in plain sight, but needles, okay? So, this guy's character name in Back to the Future I looked up today is Douglas. Douglas is 79, the dove, the best, mother, nature. But then you've got some others. You've got Ukraine. Needles is 64, Israel. So Douglas Needles could be construed as Ukraine, Israel. And you add those together, they come to 143, November 5th. See? Both sides of the numbers. And then 79 is also the word murder. So it could be murder. And then those majestic rocks that poke out of the Isle of Wight. Needles, 64, you see. But then they say his middle initial is J. So J, so Douglas plus J comes to 89. And 89 comes to a number of things, but I think I said earlier it comes to virus. So Douglas J is virus. And then what's his other name? The one that is just mentioned in the show. I don't think it's said actually. You have to look on the, behind the scenes on what the character's full name is, but they mention him twice in part 2 and part 3 of Back to the Future. And it's Needles. See? So, the point being is, it's just another piece to the movie. It's another piece. And it will be revealed soon. And as in the great film Tenet, 64, Needles, 64. I hope that's clear enough, people, from what I've just said, the codes, and you just, you know, connect the dots of what I've said. But 64, at the end of Tenet, 64, Kenneth Branagh, who I met actually before COVID, he's the baddie in that film, and he talks about something being triggered where Armageddon is triggered and simultaneously stopped at the same time. And that's what's going to happen. So depending on your consciousness and depending on where you're at, you're going to be fine, and the ones that need to be dealt with will be dealt with, and it will all happen instantly, like a drop of a hat. It'll be a beautiful, it's going to be the greatest thing that's ever happened on the earth, probably, other than the inception and the creation of the earth. It's probably going to be better than that, actually. I mean, it's here, but then to witness it upgrading, that's what we're going to witness, you see. And the key to it, when people ask about numbers, hey Sally, I've always said that it's based on the purity of your heart. So pure is 60, and we're 60 days away. And President Trump said it today, 60, and then days. So he said 60, yes. He said pure, yes. Yes, pure is 109, which is 17, which is Psych.Club, which I chose before I got the endowment of the numbers in 2020. I had a precursor to it when I met Ivanka and my cousin Paul passed away when I was in New York with the number 118. And there was an incident in 2018 where I declared, as with the sound of a trump, to some close friends, and then we all looked at each other and realized what I'd said, but still we hadn't come across 2020. And then that's when the endowment of all the numbers came, boom, all at once. And I've not looked back since. So Dunkirk is 88. Well done, Esther. Brilliant, brilliant. And the film between Tenet and Dunkirk is a small short film by Christopher Nolan. I think it's 8 to 9 minutes long. 8 plus 9 is 17, but it's called Quay, like a, you know, quay in the harbour. Q-U-A-Y, I believe. Quay, but it's pronounced key, but it starts with a Q, so it's a Q key. Christopher Nolan's a genius, you know, and his wife's name is Emma Thomas, and you look at the number of people called Thomas that star in his films. Tom Hardy, people, is Thomas Hayslip in it? I'm not sure, he comes up a lot, but his whole ensemble has lots of people called Tom in his cast and in his production, and even his wife's name, last name. And Heat, which Christopher Nolan loves, he didn't make it, but Heat is 34 in numbers, which is Leap 34. Al Pacino's in it. I did meet Al Pacino before COVID, and he was very gregarious, so whatever may or may not be the reality of Al, he was very gregarious and generous with people, whereas De Niro wasn't. De Niro really kind of the complete opposite at that point. And Heat, there's a character, well, there's someone in the production of Heat. If you look at the end credits, I put it out before on Twitter, but he's called Tom Numbers, and he's a costumer, and there were 6 of them. And costumers, they say costumers is 133, which is simulation, which is Isle of Wight, which is the time machine. Yeah. So someone had my name Tom Numbers before I had it, although neither of us were aware of it. But it's a bit like The Levelers. So The Levelers got the codes about November 5th. And if you haven't watched it, go and watch my tweets about The Levelers, the song The Beautiful Day. They talk about going back in time on November 5th, which is what Back to the Future is. And they talk about the temples coming down without a sound, That sounds like rods of God to me. And then they talk about the revolution. They talk about a big screen where everyone's up there. So that makes me think of the emergency broadcast. It talks about the bad ones going to ground. And then it talks about the solution being wealth redistribution, which is the RV. And President Trump has told us there'll be a level playing field in terms of currencies. Level playing field is 176, which is November the 5th, which is Back to the Future, which is real-time numbers. And he's joked about an RV. He says, I think I'll take our First Lady back to New York in an RV. The great man said it, you know. So it's all going to happen, people, and it will all happen simultaneously at once. Beautiful day, there you go. Yeah, what a beautiful day, eh? So we're living in magical, biblical, esoteric 5D times. I wish you could see that, because that's really magnificent. Right now, Needles is lit up almost like the New Jerusalem, like the heavenly city. New Jerusalem is 146, Truth Social 146, Ivanka Trump 146, the trumpet 146, central casting 146. Who's doing central casting? You know, reading between the lines. President Trump is going to be the president to reveal and allow ET disclosure. ET is 25, Jack. C, 25. And I'm sure Jack Kennedy will help him, along with John. 48. Zim, 48 Tom, 48 James. We've got 127 in the chat. 127 is the Ace of Spades, the Day of Vengeance, November 5th, November 5th, 127. John Magic, 125. I've got some bagpipes playing as well. Can you hear those? So we've got a beautiful sunset. We've got 127 in the chat. And, well, I say a sunset, the sun's over there, but reflecting on the Needles. And we've also got some bagpipes playing while we're doing a live broadcast. See, the simulation's kind to us, it's beautiful. 127 is also November Magic. Wow, can you see that behind me? Can you see the sunset's behind the clouds now, but can you see that being there, just there? So, there we go. I think that might be my message to say cheerio. So I'll see you tomorrow. We'll be down to 59. 59 is a really important and interesting number. One of them, I'll give you a heads up, is 59 is Joker. That's the top card. Take care, God bless, love you.